Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear students of the third secondary, today we are going to discuss chapter 4 of The Prisoner of Zenda. النهارده ان شاء الله تعالى بنرحب بحضراتكم طلاب الصف الثالث الثانوي، وهنناقش مع بعض الفصل الرابع او الجزء الاول من Prisoner of Zenda او قصة سجين زندا. اخر حاجة حصلت في الشابتر 3، تعالوا نفتكر كده مع بعض ان رودولف راسندل هو وثابت وفريتز بيفكروا what to do، يعملوا ايه علشان to save the king، وهل رودولف راسندل هيقبل to continue pretending to be the king or not. هنشوف كده مع بداية chapter 4. بيبدأ chapter 4 بيقول لي it had not been easy to escape from Strelso and return to the hunting lodge without anyone seeing us. So when Sab suggested that I return to the capital and continue pretending to be the king, I let him know exactly what I thought. بيقول ان ما كانش من السهل الهروب من المكان اللي هم كانوا فيه عند الهانتنج لودج والوصول الى ستريلسو، وعلشان كده لما رودولف او لما سابت طلب من رودولف راسندل انه يكمل pretending to be the king، يكمل في تظاهره بانه الملك، هو رد عليه بقال له you are mad I said to Thab. The plan's too dangerous. Walking up to me. Sabt put his hand on my shoulder and then looked deep into my eyes. بص، حط ايده على كتفي وبص لي كده في عينيا وقال لي listen, if you are a man، لو انت راجل بجد you can save the king، تقدر تنقذ الكينج. Go back and pretend to be him. But the dog knows where the real king is and all his men know. I protested، وانا قلت له ولكن الكينج او الدوك مايكل يعرف الملك فين وكل رجال الدوك عارفينه. رد قال له yes but they can't say anything، ولكنهم ما يقدروش يقولوا حاجه. Listen, we have got them. They can't say anything without showing their girl. They can't say، ما يقدروش يقولوا اي حاجه الا لو اعترفوا بذنبهم او بجريمتهم. But this isn't the real king because we have kidnapped him and killed his servants. Will say they that؟ هل هيقولوا للناس ان هم خطفوا الملك وقتلوا جوزيف الخادم بتاعه؟ لا طبعا. بيقول even if Michael knew who I was he could not say he knew. حتى لو مايكل عارف انا مين، مش هيقدر يقول. But I still had doubts، ولكن لدي بعض الشكوك. Sabt, surely someone in Strelso will realize I'm not the real king. I said. يا سبت ممكن أي حد في ستريلسو يعرف إن أنا مش real king. The princess has already said she thinks the king's changed. بيقول إن حتى الأميرة امبارح قالت لي إن الملك أنت متغير. She will certainly realize. Of course it's a risk, but we must have a king in Strelso. ايوه ممكن او ان دي مخاطره، ولكن احنا لازم يبقى عندنا ملك في ستريلسو. or the city will belong to Michael، والا ستؤول المدينه الى مايكل، او هيبقى مايكل هو متولي الامور within 24 hours، خلال 24 ساعه. you must do it for Ruritania، انت لازم تعمل الموضوع ده اللي من اجل روريتانيا. what if the king's already dead؟ طب لو الملك مات فعلا ايه اللي هيحصل؟ If the real king is already dead, then you shall stay king. But I think the king is still alive, and I don't think he will do anything to them. If you are in the capital, they would know that you would stay king if they killed him. لو الملك مات انت هتفضل ملك طول عمرك، ولكن انا ما اعتقدش ده، لان هم عارفين ان انت طول ما انت عايش انت ممكن تبقى ملك، فهم هيحافظوا على حياة الكينج. Believing it was a mad plan, even madder than the first plan, which had been a success. But I listened to Sabt. I saw that it could work. I still worry that someone will realize. I said again. بيقول لي سبت تاني رودولف، بيقول له سبت تاني أنا خايف حد يعرف. Anything is possible, but come Rasendal. Let's go to Strelso. We will be caught if we stay here. قال له بس تعالى بس احنا نرجع الى ستريلسو، لان احنا هنتمسك فعلا او نتقفش فعلا لو احنا فضلنا هنا. alright Sabt, I'll try I said. وفعلا راح معاه. good man Sabt said. سبت فرح جدا وقال له good man. I'll go and get the horses. أنا هروح أجيب الحصانة. But seconds later he came back. Look out of the window. بص من الشباك. Through the window I could see in the moonlight a big group of men coming down the road from Zenda. لقيت إن في مجموعة من الرجال جايين من ناحية زندا. 4 were on horses. 4 على حصنتهم. Another 4 or 5 were walking. وكان في 5 أو 4 تانيين ماشيين. I knew they must be Michael's men. أكيد رجالة مايكل. And they seemed to be carrying spades coming to the house to hide their evil work. هم أكيد رجالة مايكل وجايبين معاهم سبيدز يعني أدوات حفر وجايين يخفوا عملهم الشرير أو اللي هو طبعا قتل جوزيف. I remembered poor Joseph's body. He said. أنا افتكرت جثة جوزيف المسكين. Except we should make sure that some of those evil men join Joseph. Very well said Sept. رودولف راسندل بيقول لسبت احنا لازم نخلي معظمهم مكانه يعني لازم ننتقم له. As a soldier I have had a lot of fights like this. I'll show you what to do. بيقول له انا بصفتي عسكري مر عليا مواقف كتير زي دي وانا هوري لك الرجاله بيعملوا ايه. We went out of a back door and climbed onto our horses with our swords ready. ركبنا حصنتنا ومعانا السيوف. We could hear the men arrive at the front of the hunting lodge and one called out, "Go and get the body now," cried Sept. And we drove our horses fast to the front of the building. The men looked shocked to see us and were not prepared. I easily knocked one man off his horse. أنا قدرت أوقع واحد بسهولة. Then hit another big man. وخبطت واحد تاني with my sword بالسيف بتاعي as he moved towards me وهو جاي تجاهي. But there were only 2 of us and within seconds I realized that there were people all around me. ولقيت إن في ناس كتير حوالي. Just as I was about to be trapped ولكن لسه كنت هتحبس أو هيتعمل عليا كماشة. I saw a gap between the men and saw my chance to escape. ولقيت فرصتي للهرب. I turned my horse and quickly rode through the gap towards the forest. أنا مسكت حصاني وجريت بيه بسرعة تجاه الغابة. My horse was fast, but as I left, I heard the gun and I was almost shot. ولكن وأنا ماشي سمعت صوت ضربة وتقريبا تم إصابتي. I could see Sept on his horse ahead of me. كنت شايف سبت على الحصان بتاعه قدامي. And went as quickly as I could towards him. وأنا مشيت له أو جريت عليه بسرعة على قد ما قدرت. Waving then I heard another shot and felt a terrible pain in my finger. يعني ولقيت طلقة تانية وحسيت بألم كبير جدا في أحد أصابعي. Someone shot again, but now we were too far for them to hit us. حد كان بيضرب نار تاني ولكن احنا دلوقتي بقينا بعيد. At last I caught up with Sept. لحقت بسبت who was breathless but laughing. اللي كان نفسه مقطوع من الجري ولكن بيضحك. Well done, he said. أحسنت. That was very brave. كان موقف شجاع جدا. Do you think they saw you were? Yes, one of the men said, "It's the king," before I pushed him off his horse. Good, said Sept. That will give Michael something to worry about. وده هيقلق مايكل. After a time, we stopped so that Sept could put a bandage on my finger. ولكن بعد فترة وقفنا عشان سبت يضمد لي إصبعي المصاب. Which now hurt badly. واللي دلوقتي بيؤلمني جدا. We moved on in silence. تحركنا في صمت as quickly as our poor horses were able to. على قد ما حصنتنا قدرت. Until we arrived at a farm just as the sun was rising in cold. وصلنا مزرعة كده وكان فيها أشجار. وقفنا بيقول لي I covered my face saying to the farmer I had a bad tooth before we asked for food. بيقول له إن غطيت وشي وقلت للفارمر إن أنا عندي bad tooth سنته بتوجعه وعايزين طعام. The farmer was kind and let us rest. خلانا نرتاح but we knew we could not wait for long. ولكن ما كانش ينفع نقعد طويلا. And soon headed off. وبعد كده اتحركنا تاني. Some hours later we saw the buildings of Strelso ahead of us. وشفنا مباني ستريلسو أمامنا. It was about 9 o'clock and At this time of day, the city gates were open. وفي الوقت دوت البوابات كانت مفتوحة. So we went back through the gate that we had left from. ودخلنا من البوابة اللي احنا خرجنا منها. The streets of the city were very quiet. الشوارع كانت هادية جدا as most of the people were resting after the celebrations and we saw almost no one until we were back at the palace. ما كانش في حد تقريبا. Here one of Sap's friends, servants, was waiting for us. Is all well, sir? He asked. Yes, Fryler. All is well. أيوة Fryler. يبقى الحارس ده اسمه Fryler. He answered Sapt. But the king's hurt. He said. ولكن الملك اتصاب. Seeing my finger, it's nothing. I said. لا ما تقلقوش. He caught his finger in a door. Sapt explained. Sapt قال له إن هو الباب قفل على إيديه. Now remember saying nothing about this. اوعى تقول لحد على الكلام ده. All young men like to ride their horses now and then we saw why not the king. كل الشباب اللي في سن الملك بيحبوا يركبوا الحصينة بتاعتهم في الوقت ده. طبعا سابت بالموقف ده كان wanted to mislead Fryler. هو Fryler طبعا هو حارس من حراس سابت ولكن ما يعرفش الخطة، فعلشان كده سابت wanted to mislead him. سابت أراد أن يضلله، فعشان كده he told him that the king's finger caught into a door. ولكن عشان كده قال له ان صباع الكينج اتقفل عليه باب. Number 7 او passage number 7 بيقول لي as a servant led our horses away. خدوا الحصينة بتاعتنا بعيد. Sapt said quietly to me, Fryler is a good friend, is a good servant, but sometimes it's best not to trust even the best of men. Said Sapt put the key in the secret door. بيقول رودولف سابت لرودولف سابت على فكرة ان servants اللي هو السيرفنت فرايلر ده شخص كويس جدا مخلص، ولكن حتى في الاوقات ديت مش لازم تثق في اقرب الناس او اصلح الناس بالنسبه لك. Sapt put the key in the secret door. Sapt حط المفتاح في الباب السري and we went back inside the palace. ودخلنا القصر تاني down the passage to the king's room من خلال الباسج اللي بيؤدي الى حجرة الكينج. Back inside دخلنا جوه الحجرة. Fritz who had been asleep jumped up when he heard us and cried, Mr. King, you are safe. I'm so pleased. He then put down in front of me. ايه ده؟ فريتز ما عرفش ان ده رودولف راسندل بيقول له مستر كينج والحمد لله على سلامتك وانحنى له. بص بقى سابت بيضحك وبيقول ايه؟ Even Fritz thinks you are the real king. laughed سابت. سابت بيقول رودولف راسندل شفت يا عم مش انت كنت خايف؟ حتى فريتز اللي دفنه معانا فريتز ما عرفش ان انت مش الملك الحقيقي. فطبعا I think we can do this. Oh Rasendal said Fritz in surprise. ولكن فريتز كان مندهش جدا. But what's happened to your hand? ايه اللي حصل لايديك؟ Are you hurt? انت اتصبت؟ It's nothing serious. ما فيش حاجة خطيرة. What's more important is what we have to tell you. المهم اللي احنا هنقوله لك. What is it? Where is the real king? الملك فين؟ Be quiet Fritz. said Sapt. اهدى فريتز. Don't speak so loudly. ما تتكلمش بصوت عالي. People will hear us. الناس هتسمعنا. Suddenly there was a knock at the door. في حد خبط على الباب. So Sapt took me by the arm. خدني من دراعي كده. Quick, go into the bedroom. Take your hat and put off. And climbed into bed. بيقول لي كده خدني من ايديه وجابني على السرير وقال لي نام واعمل نفسك نايم. Cover yourself up. غطي نفسك so people think you are asleep. عشان الناس تفكر ان انت نايم. I did as I was told. أنا عملت زي ما اتقال لي. But a minute later, Sapt came into the bedroom and smiled. Sapt جالي وابتسم. He introduced me to a polite young gentleman who came up to my bed and told me that he was a servant of Princess Flavia. جاب لي واحد كده جنتلمان وقال لي إن أنا رسول أو خادم للأميرة فلافيا. Who had sent me to find out how the king was feeling after the coronation. كانت جاي بعتله السيرفنت تطمن عليه بسلامتها. Send her my thanks. ابعت لها سلامي. I said. And tell her that I have never felt better in my life. The kings had a good long sleep. قول لها ان الملك بينام نوم كفاية. The servant pulled and left and I smiled at Sapt, but Fritz still looked very serious. لسه فريتز مش مستوعب الموضوع. Tell me, is the king dead? He asked quietly. فريتز بيسأل. We don't think so. I answered. لا ما نعتقدش إنه مات. But Duke Michael's holding him prisoner. ولكن الدوك واخده كأسير. The next day it took Sabt 3 hours to tell me all about the king's duties. قعد سبت يقول لي واجبات الملك. It seems that a king's life is quite hard. ده حياة صعبة أوي حياة الملك دي. But a pretend king's life is even harder. ولكن لما تبقى ملك مش حقيقي بتبقى الموضوع أصعب كمان. At least Sabt stayed with me to tell me what I ought to do. كان بيقول لي أعمل إيه and what I ought not to do وما أعملش إيه. And what I should say to the many important people I had to meet during the day. وكان أكلم الناس المهمين اللي بقابلهم خلال النهار إزاي. I was worried when I met the French ambassador. أنا قلقت لما قابلت السفير الفرنسي and he asked me a question which I could not answer. وسألني سؤال ما عرفتش أرد عليه. But later Sabt told me that I should not worry. ما كنتش المفروض أقلق. As everyone أو as the real king would not have been able to answer either. ولكن حتى الملك ساعتها ما كانش هيقدر يبقى يجاوب. I also had to tell everyone that I could not write because my finger. أنا قلت للناس إن أنا مش قادر أكتب عشان صباعي. So many important documents were not completed. وعشان كده في وثائق كتيرة مهمة ما لم تكمل. Really after many hours of meetings بعد ساعات من الاجتماعات I was finally alone with my friends once more. I asked a new servant who had never met the real king for a drink and then asked Sabt if I could rest at last. أقدر أرتاح بقى. I was not used to such hard work. أنا ما كنتش متعود على الشغل الشاق ده. Rest? No. We mustn't waste any time. إحنا مش لازم نضيع أي وقت. Shouldn't we plan for how to attack Michael? Fritz asked. Fritz بيقول إحنا مش لازم نخطط إزاي نهجم على مايكل. Let's take things slowly. خلينا ناخد الأمور بروية. So aren't we going to do anything? Fritz بيقول إحنا مش هنتصرف. We aren't going to do anything dangerous. إحنا مش هنعمل حاجة خطر. If people find out who I am, then I'll fight with the Duke. But at the moment, let's wait to see what the Duke does. ولكن خلينا نشوف الدوك هو اللي هيعمل إيه الأول. He will kill the king, said Fritz. He won't, said Sabt. Sabt قال له ما تقلقش. If he kills the king, he knows that Rassendel will stay king as king instead. هو عارف إن لو قتل الملك الحقيقي رودولف راسندل هيفضل ملك بدلا منه. And he can't accuse Rassendel of anything because then people will know that he has kidnapped the king. ولكن كمان في نفس الوقت مش هيقدر إنه يتهم سابت أو يتهم راسندل بأي شيء لأن الناس هتكتشف أو الناس هتعرف إن هو خاطف الكينج. And we can't accuse him in public with admitting that. وإحنا كمان ما نقدرش في قدام الناس نقول له كده and that I'm not the real king. وما نقدرش نقول له إن أنا مش الملك الحقيقي. I explained. أنا شرحت لهم. So no one can do anything. It's a stalemate. أيوة مش هنقدر نعمل أي حاجة كلنا. It's a stalemate أو طريق مسدود أو كش ملك أو ده طبعا الكوتيشن الحمد لله اللي كان ربنا موفقني جدا جدا مع طلبة 2017 وقلت لهم إن ده الكوتيشن المهم جدا وبفضل الله تعالى جه فعلا في الامتحان. وطبعا دي كانت آخر سنة فيها كوتيشن والحمد لله كان يعني نهايتها مسك. But wait, half of Michael's men are in Strelso with the Duke. ولكن انتظر كده نص رجالة بتاعة الدوك مايكل معاه في ستريلسو. Only half, نصهم بس. Then that means that the other half are guarding the king. وده معناه ان النص التاني بيحمي الكينج او بيحرسه. said سبت اللي قال كده. Yes, you are right, said Fritz. So that means وده معناه ان the king must be alive. ان الملك اكيد على قيد الحياة. If the king were dead, all the 6 men would be here with the duke. لو الملك كان مات كان زمان ال6 رجالة مع الدوك هنا في ستريلسو. Excuse me, but who are the 6 men? I asked. رودولف راسندل مش عارفهم. بيقول له مين ال6 رجال؟ بيرد عليه فريتز بيقول له unfortunately fear you will soon be meeting them. يعني أنا ما أتمناش أو إن أنا متأكد إنك لسوء الحظ هتقابلهم قريب. They are 6 special soldiers who Michael keeps in his house at all times. بيقول إن هم 6 من الرجال أو من الجنود الأقوياء اللي مايكل بيحتفظ بيهم في بيته معظم الوقت أو طول الوقت. They are completely loyal to him. هم في منتهى الإخلاص أو الولاء ليه. 3 are from Mauritania. 3 منهم من موريتانيا. 1 is Belgian. 1 بلجيكي. 1 French. 1 فرنسي. and 1 from your country. 1 من بلدك يعني يقصد إنجلترا. They will do whatever Michael asks them to do. Continued سبت. سبت بيقول له إن هم بيعملوا أي حاجة سبت أو أي حاجة الدوك يطلبها. Would they try to kill me? I asked nervously. إذا ممكن يحاولوا يقتلوني؟ طبعا بيقول له without a doubt بدون شك. Which 3 are here in Israel to Fritz? سبت بيسأل فريتز أي 3 منهم موجودين. قال له the 3 foreigners bigoted, personal and Ditchard. ال3 الأجانب bigoted الفرنسي وبيرسونال البلجيكي وديتشارد الإنجليزي. So they were not the men we saw at the hunting lodge. إذا مش هم دول اللي احنا شفناهم في الهانتنج لودج. I wish they were. كنت أتمنى إن هم اللي كانوا بيبقوا هناك. Because then we would only be 4, not 6 of them. طيب بيقول لي بنكمل في الباسج أو الباراجراف number 12. I now decided that I should act perhaps like the real king do, by keeping some secrets even from the people I could trust the most. دلوقتي أنا بدأت أتصرف كملك حتى بخبي بعض الأسرار عن الناس اللي حواليا اللي هم يقصد بيهم سابت وفريتز. My plan was to make myself as popular as I could. خطتي إن أنا كنت أخلي نفسي محبوب على قد ما أقدر and say nothing bad about Michael وما أتكلمش وحش عن مايكل. In this way وبالطريقة دي I could hope to stop the poor people of Israel from thinking badly about me. هخلي الناس اللي في المدينة الفقيرة يبطلوا تفكير بشكل سيء بالنسبة لي. Then if there were fight ولو كان في fight في شجار أو في حرب perhaps people would not to follow Michael. الناس ساعتها مش هيتبعوا مايكل. Although of course I hoped there would not be such a fight. وبالرغم من ده أنا مش عايز يحصل أي fight. Perhaps I could actually enjoy my game in Israel and something good would come in from it. Michael would not grow stronger while the game lasted. My plan began the next day when I rode my horse through the park with Fritz and waved to everyone who bowed to me. The more my people saw of me, the more they would realize I cared about them and their lives. I was not going to do a distant king. I'm not going to be a distant king. مش عايز يبقى ملك بعيد عن الناس. Who people only heard about. اللي الناس بس تسمع عنه. And I had done before the coronation. I wanted to be seen most in the old town. أنا عايز الناس تشوفني في old town. Where most of the poor people lived. اللي هناك عايشين الناس الفقيرة. Riding through some of the narrowest and the oldest town streets, I stopped to buy flowers from a poor young girl and with a gold coin. This attracted a lot of interest, and soon hundreds of people were following me on my way to the home of Princess Flavia. I knew the princess was very popular, and the people seemed very pleased with that I had gone to see her. Moreover, if I had the support of the princess, this could only help me. Fritz also thought this was a good idea and came with me on my visit to the princess' palace. I was shown into a guest room full of enormous mirrors, paintings, beautiful furniture. And soon the princess arrived with her servants. I knew that I had to be very careful when I talked to the princess. I needed the princess to trust me, but I didn't want to say that too much to her, or she would realize I was not the real king. And although I wanted to show her that I trusted her, she must not think that she could say what she liked to me, because I was not the man she thought I was. رودولف راسندر هنا عنده شوية principles، عنده شوية مبادئ، مش عايز برضه في نفس الوقت ان فلافيا تقول له كل حاجة لان هو مش الراجل اللي هي تقصده. You have completely changed since you became king, sir, she said. You need to call me sir. I told her, for after all, we are still cousins. She looked at me then said, I'm proud to do so. Rodolph, but I think your face has changed. I need to talk about something else, so I said, my brother's back in the city. I hear he went away for a while. Didn't he? Yes, I hear he is back in Israel. So أنا سامع إن هو رجع إسرائيل. So that's good. كويس. The nearer he is to me, the better. كل ما يقرب مني كل ما أفضل. The princess looked at me. Do you want him to be near you? أنت عايزه فعلا يبقى قريب منك? So that you know what he doing. عشان تبقى عارف بيعمل إيه. قال لها I'd like him to be near me because he is my half brother. أنا عايزه يبقى عشان جنبي عشان هو أخويا ليس الشقيق. We are family. احنا عائلة. I answered. We need to help and support each other. احنا لازم ندعم بعضنا. طبعا هو كده بيطلب دعم منها. Unfortunately, I have heard he can't stay in Celso for very long. أنا عارفة إن هو ما بيقعدش هنا أو لا يستطيع البقاء في سيلسو لفترة طويلة. She looked at me strangely. بصت لي كده بشكل غريب أو باستغراب. When I said this لما قلت ده. But at that moment there was a loud cheer from the streets outside. The princess ran to the window. Then she returned to me, looking anxious. It's him, she said. It's the Duke of Celso. He's coming here now. I was surprised by this news, and I didn't know what to say. For several minutes, Princess Flavia and I sat in silence. Her servants also stood silently, with their heads bowed. We could hear steps outside the door, and I expected Michael to enter, but then the steps stopped, so we continued to talk again. I can't remember what we talked about, but I found it very easy to talk to the princess, and time passed. I thought it was strange that Michael had not come into the room, but we didn't talk about him until the princess suddenly jumped up and said, "You do know that Michael will be angry. تعرف إن مايكل هيبقى زعلان. Is that a good idea? What do you mean?" تقصدي how am I making him angry? زي زعلته. You haven't asked him to come in. He's been waiting outside the room for a long time. هو منتظر بقاله وقت طويل. But of course he can come in. طب وما دخلش ليه? I said, realizing I had made a serious mistake. ودي غلطة كبيرة أنا عملتها فعلا. How funny you are. ازاي يا ملك انت بتضحك. You know that انت تعرف ان no one can enter without your permission. محدش يقدر يدخل بدون إذنك. Of course, I said. I'd forgotten. But the princess looked at me in a way that made me think she realized something was wrong. I was never very good at remembering all the rules. I continued wishing that Fritz had told me about this. كنت بحاول أغطي غلطتي, but I'll go and get him myself at once. وأنا هخرج له بنفسي. I opened the door and went out of the guest room to greet Michael. He was sitting at a table looking very angry. بصراحة كان حقه, كان غضبان جدا. All his men were standing next to him. كانت الرجالة بتاعته حواليه. I held out my hand and Michael stood up slowly and took it. يعني رفعت له ايدي كده للسلام مايكل سلم عليه. Then I showed him into the princess guest room. Brother, I said, I'm so sorry. I didn't know you were waiting. Otherwise, I would have asked you sooner. He thanked me, but coldly. Michael didn't seem to be good at hiding his feelings. مش قادر يعني يداري مشاعره تجاهي. And I could see that he was angry with me. وأنا خدت بالي إن هو غاضب جدا مني. I could also see he was trying to pretend that he thought he was real king. We sat down with the princess. You have hurt your hand, he said. Yes, an animal pet me. I explained. I'll be fine. Is there any danger from the bite? Flavia asked. Not from this. لا. أنا بصيت لمايكل. But if I give him the chance to bite me again, ولكن لو اديته فرصة يعض لي تاني, it would be different. الموضوع هيبقى مختلف. Did you kill the animal? Flavia asked. Flavia بتسأله انت قتلت الحيوان? No, I said. We are waiting to see if the bite is poisonous. أنا لسه منتظر أشوف العضة سامة ولا لا. طبعا هو بيلقح على صاحبه أو على أخوه. and if it is said Michael. طب ولو smiled coldly كده ابتسم ببرود كده وقال له طب ولو طلعت سامة clearly understanding who I was really talking about. وهو طبعا فاهم انا اقصد ايه. قال لي he will be knocked on the head. I said قال لي هضربه. قال له رودولف راسندل بيقول لي اخوه قال له هضربه على دماغه but he might bite again said Michael. ولكن ممكن يعض تاني. قال لي I'm sure he will try. I replied smiling. انا متأكد ان هو هيحاول مرة تانية. Then worried that Michael would say something I didn't want to hear, I decided to change the subject. أنا قررت أغير الموضوع. I told him how fine his soldiers were and thanked him for the splendid coronation. شكرته على الحفل التتويج الرائع. I thanked him for the great time على الوقت الجميل I had at the hunting lodge in the forest. When we heard this, he jumped to his feet and angrily walked towards the door. Then he stopped and said, 3 of my friends would very like to meet you, sir. They are waiting outside. So I walked up to Michael and took his arm and we entered the outside room like best friends. Michael asked the 3 men to come forward. These gentlemen are the most loyal and honest of the king's servants and are my great friends. I'm very pleased to meet you. To meet them, I said. They bowed before me, one at a time. First Digatut, a tall thin Frenchman, راجل فرنسي طويل ونحيف with straight hair. Then Persson, the Belgian, Persson البلجيكي, who was large, اللي كان حجمه كبير and about 30 years old, وكان تقريبا في الثلاثينات. And finally Ditchard, the Englishman, الإنجليزي Ditchard, who had a thin face, اللي وجهه نحيف, strong shoulders, وبأكتاف قوية, and very short hair, وشعره قصير جدا. He looked like a good fighter and a bad character. شخصيته شكلها وحشة ولكن محارب جيد. I spoke to him in English with a pretend foreign accent. اتكلمت معاه بإنجليزي مكسر كده وكأني مش عارف أتكلم. And I'm sure I saw him smile when I spoke. ولقيته بيبتسم كده ابتسامة رخمة. So Ditchard knows my secret. وإذا Ditchard عارف سري. I thought. أنا اعتقدت ده. And if he knew, surely all the 6 men knew as well. How dangerous were these special soldiers and how safe was I, even in the palace of Celso, وحتى في قصر سيلسو. هنا هنقف عن chapter 4 وهنعرف إن شاء الله تعالى في الحلقة اللي جاية هل المحادثة دي هتكمل، هل رودولف راسندل هيبقى مبسوط لمقابلته الرجال دوك مايكل ولا لأ. انتظرونا إن شاء الله في الحلقة القادمة في chapter 5. كان معاكم طاهر منصور. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.